Happy Friday to you, Chris. How you feeling this week?
It was a short work week, but it was incredibly busy. We had a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have almost 500 orders go out today.
Nice. So the capacity is happening. Yeah, that's what we're working toward. I want to work toward much bigger capacity so we can get back to that hyper efficiency. I see that products are starting to roll in. We still have a pretty significant stack of stuff. What's the bulk of what we're missing? Like, what are people waiting for?
Let's see. We have, for a while it was Karchers, but we got some in, but then one of the pallets showed up, busted up. So
Lord.
Yeah, one of those deals. Then it was wands, and we got wands. Now it's P&S products, which they're shipping now for some of those packages that we had during the giveaway. And then the LHR 15s, which I think we had 36 that we sold as part of the polishing packages. They're now back ordered because Colorado was briefly not working all that much, and they came from Italy, is my understanding, to begin with. So
yeah, well, I see that there was a shipment of Rupes something or other.
Yeah, we got some of them, but we have 30 on back order.
Yeah,
so they're coming in, but yeah, lots to catch up on.
So a lot of this stack over here is P&S.
Yes.
Got it. Giveaway bundles. So
yeah, bundles.
The reason why, for those of you who are wondering, like, oh, inventory, why'd you let me buy it? Well, the giveaway was a lot more successful than we anticipated, which is good. And so we were all giveaway items were we call it a pre-order, meaning you're ordering and we're going to get it to you as soon as we can. And in a perfect world, even if it is a pre-order, I want to ship it out immediately, like all the tire dressing. We're able to kind of get most of it out pretty quickly. But because of the way the giveaway is set up, I don't have enough room to inventory as much as we sold. And so it was kind of a perfect storm of, backlog. A lot of these companies are in overseas or in California or other places. And so, we're just waiting on, product to kind of catch back up. But I'm always creating chaos. And so we're always behind on something. And if we're behind, that means the product doesn't exist. So that's just kind of the way it goes. And, Krenzl's have been like that from the beginning. Mosmatic's been like that from the beginning as we continue to, blow through all our projections and predictions. So, but we're moving, man. It's happening.
We get the occasional email of someone accusing us of sitting on their order. Like, it comes in like, I don't like that name. I'm just going to not send that order out. No, we don't do that. We want it out as quick as possible.
Yeah. I mean, some people are just entitled. I can't imagine having that kind of entitlement. But as we get bigger and bigger and less people are bought in, they're just buying because we're providing a service. We'll have more than that. That's why we have to have nice people that keep me away from those people, because I will punt them right in the trash. And so we need some nice customer service people to help with that, to keep me under control. We can't have me or my dad talking to people, entitled people, because that just won't go well.
We got a little buffer there.
Yeah, because Kyle and Jeff, they don't have permission to do that. They have to be nice and cordial and insulate me, because otherwise I'll jump off the roof.
All right. Let's see. We got lots of people here with us today. 200-ish right now. Let's see. Hi, Matt and Chris. For a small, medium coupe, this is from Matt in the chat here, about how many towels should I plan to have for wiping during each phase of a correction? 1-stage polish, eraser, 1-coat power lock, 2 coats 845.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to use 20 towels. Now, keep in mind it's going to take a couple of days, so if you only had 10 towels, then you could just wash them, and come wash them, dry them, and be ready to go the next morning. I don't like to do that. I like to wash them whenever I feel like washing them, and so, I think that's why I have 20 of each color. Usually when I'm polishing, especially if I have a helper, if I have somebody else working with me, we'll easily blow through 20 yellow towels, 18 to 20 towels and I'll go to the reds and start using those. But yeah, I mean, that's why I think 20 of each color is that magic number. That way you don't run out.
And you kind of answered Lewis's question here. Hi, Matt and Chris. Got my order this week. I'm really impressed with the packaging. Thumbs up. That's cool. And then you answered his question already. From Mike Spina. Sorry, Mike. Hey, Matt and Chris. I just wanted to say congrats on the tire dressing. It looks legit. Hope OG has success with it. Also, those Mugen pedals look legit.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like the tire dressing. again, didn't have any say in any of the product developments. Just like all the detailing products, I just find something and I like it, and it seems like it would do well for my process. And then because, like for instance with the old chemical guy, Citrus Red, or what is now the Decon soap, like it didn't exist. And so unless I did it, we wouldn't have it. And so I'm doing it, and I think it's a good product. I think people are really going to like it. I think some people are going to complain about it because they don't listen to me. They don't listen to anything I say. They just want to complain, but I'm pumped about it. I really like it. I think it looks good. It's not perfect, but no tire dressing is. This I think product has the least amount of imperfections, but it's personal preference. So it's not going to hurt my feelings one way or the other. I know that I would spend $20 or $30 on a bottle just to give it a whirl, and if I didn't like it, I'd just throw it away, or give it away, or give it to somebody else. But I think that people are really going to dig it. I think by and large, the vast majority of people are looking for what I'm looking for, which is not a lot of fluff. Just want the tires to be nice and black. And a lot of people take care of their cars that watch the stuff and maintain them well. And so I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy the product if they use it the way that I'm suggesting, the way that I'm using it, which is to maintain it, and do that, once every couple of weeks or once a week. And know that, if you're driving through the Antarctic, that it's not going to be perfect. So, we'll see. I think it's Pearl is a great product. Pearl, if I didn't have this tire dressing, I wasn't looking for something else. But when Scott sent it to us and Bryce put it on the M3, I'm like, I like this. This looks better. It looks a little bit more uniform, and it's certainly blacker and darker. And so there you go. There's been all this stuff about people sharing about other products and detail. I don't even know who the heck is Detail King. I have no idea who that is. And I'm the detail guy that shops for everything. So we're like, you're just rebottling. No, like I called B&B. I talked to the freaking chemists. I said, why is no one, if this product's great, why have you not put it anywhere? And they said, well, I don't know. We just never sold it. It was in our house recipe. I said, so, as soon as I launch this and I tell everybody it's from B&B, you're going to get 37 calls from other copiers. What are you going to do to protect me? And they said, well, we're just going to have to, you're going to have to take our word for it. We do this all the time. This is what we do. They have hundreds of different vendors or companies that they, private label for. And so there we go. We have it. And Scott picked the color and the scent. And then people have all these conspiracy theories about, it's just, look, it's the same color. I said, I'm pretty sure he picked it out of a freaking hat, the color that we chose. We could make it any color we want. And it's just blue because it's OG's blue. So what's going on here, Chris? Why is the printer printing?
Kyle or Jeff is probably printing too.
Idiots.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Oh my gosh, they don't know any better. Now they're gonna come walking in here, waltzing in here.
It's a secret message to us. It says, "Hey guys."
Ay. So anyway, that's the story of the tire dressing. There is no secret triple conspiracy or back-ended deal. I bought a 330-gallon tote. We've used about 3/4 of it. We're probably gonna have to buy another one. And we don't have any freaking sprayers. So then people are complaining about, well, you're charging $20 for blah, 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 and Pearl costs this much, and it's dilutable. And I'm like, look, I just freaking added up the bottle, the label. I got to pay Scott half of the profitability. And so I just made up a freaking number. So a bottle of, what do I say? The 8-ounce bottle cost me more to do than the 24-ounce bottle. So it cost me, $9 to put it, in a bottle with labor and everything. And so then I have $11 of profit in the frickin' thing. And yes, it costs, the minimum charge for USPS is $8. So stop frickin' crying like a bunch of babies. It's not rocket science here. I'm not paying people for me to pay somebody the bottle of frickin' tire dressing. And so we don't have any sprayers. If you want to find some sprayers, then send them to me. I'll buy them. But they don't exist. They're not available. And so everybody's badgering me. Come out with a freaking tire dressing. I have the tote sitting there. And so we started pumping the tote because the pump was here and the bottles were here. But now we don't have any sprayers. And the label has a freaking janky typo on the back of it. So people are just, they're just looking for me to screw up. I cannot be any more forthright with you. So I pick a price that I'm willing to do it for, and then smart people buy it and other stupid people complain. I can't believe that you're selling it for $20 and there's no sprayer. The sprayer costs 80 cents. I don't give a crap about the 80 cents. I just don't have any. And so we have two choices. We can wait for 6 months, or I can just say, you have a sprayer laying around your house, just buy the bottle. Oh, you're trying to steal people's money by not giving them a sprayer, you morons. How much? The sprayer's like 80 cents, isn't it? Or 70 cents.
Something like that.
Something crazy what it cost me to buy them. I'll buy 10,000 of them, but they don't exist. I can't buy them. They don't have any. We even tried to buy a different sprayer. They don't have any of those either. So I don't know what to tell you other than freaking get bent. Get lost. Tire dressing's good. It's in a bottle. Stick a sprayer in it. Don't buy it if you're a freaking crybaby. That's all I got to say.
Such a change from last Friday when you were so happy and after hanging out with the M3 all morning.
Yeah, well, I burned a hole in the M3, so.
All right, Jack says, good evening from the UK. Hey, welcome, Jack. From Pittsburgh, Sweden, Minneapolis, everywhere. All right, we have a super chat here for you. Okay. Oh, but first, Yoshi is at the top of Mount Everest today for anyone.
Okay.
So don't use the tire dressing there. It won't hold up.
Yeah.
Super chat from Rob. Hey, Matt. Greetings from Ireland. Any ideas on how to get scratches out of and protect hard-to-reach gloss black plastic trim on a G20 BMW 330 grill?
Ooh, yeah, that's a mouthful. Hand polishing is so fickle. It just doesn't work very well. You know me, I'd probably just buy a new grill. Right? Then I'd be angry that the new grill was all scratched up too. Yeah, that's such a hard thing. I mean, the only thing you can really do is, put some polish, put your compound or your polish on a towel. But I find that to not really work very well. You just put it on the finger, and you get your finger in there if you can, and start agitating it. But the other thing, they make those like longer swab things that maybe you could try something like that, where you get in between, put some polish on there. I would suspect you need a bunch of them. It probably will disintegrate. But yeah, hand polishing is so difficult, man. And then that kind of grill, that kind of black plasticky stuff, the shadow line stuff, tends to mar up so easily. It's so soft, so gentle, I think that you're just gonna have to pick an afternoon and work on one crevice at a time. I'd probably split it up over multiple days, so I'm not sitting there for 3 hours messing with it. Do 15 minutes at a time, and that way you maybe do a better job. But I think it would be some combination of putting polish on a microfiber towel and trying to polish it up by hand.
All right, there you go, Rob. Let's see. Hey, Brian Deal, our buddy in California, says good morning. Good afternoon. When will we see Press-All bottles translucent back in stock? That's lots of weeks away before Press-All.
Yeah. So, I had a call with them 2 weeks ago, but yeah, we're probably midsummer if we're lucky. It's going to take a while. They're producing them. Again, anything with any kind of sprayer or a bottle is under a huge demand for ridiculous cleaning that's going on in the world. So, it's going to be a while before we see any of that stuff. Are we completely out of those? I thought we still had some of the different sizes.
I think we have a few left, but
yeah, whatever's in inventory is what we got.
If it's on the site and it says it's there, then we have it. But most of the stuff is sold out.
Yep.
Let's see. Ordering today some OG stuff. Greetings from Poland. Thanks, Hubert. That's cool stuff.
But by the way, what we ordered like 10x what we normally have in the past of all the Press-All stuff. So. Yeah. We've kind of negotiated, so I don't have to pay for it all up front and wait 3 months for it. And so, yeah, we're hoping that we're in the new facility by the time that they show up, because we certainly won't have anywhere to put the amount of bottles and sprayers that I've ordered.
All right, our employee friend Mike is checking in here. Says greetings from Lake County's newest resident. So congratulations to Mike. I think
Is he closing today?
Yeah, today is the day to close on the house.
Yeah, it's cool to see all of our guys growing up. See everybody doing stuff, and and this crazy idea is hopefully helping pay for it.
Chris has a question here in the chat. I'm going to buy a jumper hose to plug into my Cox reel. Mm-hmm. I take it that both the 3-foot blue and black hose do the same thing, just the color is different. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Smooth Jacket blue version is we call Cobra Jet, is just nice, a little prettier. but it gets the same function. It's a little bit more pliable. It'll twist a little bit tighter, it seems. Also, won't mark up the wall as much when you're trying to get it installed. But other than that, it's the same thing. It's both are a single wire hose.
All right, Sterling Maxima 101 says, got the 50-foot hose, just waiting on the 200-foot. That's coming in on our next shipment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Big thanks to you guys for running a tight operation. He's also asking about the Camry rendering, so Bryce, chime in, let us know. People are asking here. Hey, guys, just want to say thanks for these great podcasts to listen to while working. That's from Nate, so thanks, Nate.
Cool.
Hey, Matt, which towel brand do you prefer for hard wax polishing? Is it having trouble even with thin layers? Thanks.
Say what? Which
towel
for
do you prefer for hard wax polishing? Does that even make sense?
Maybe he's talking about doing like paste wax on a car, and then it's harder to remove. I like a lower pile towel. When you go with these big heavy plush towels, it just push stuff around and get all bunched up in your hand. So I prefer like the red car wash towel from a rag company that's 320 GSM, something like that. I tend to prefer over like a much more plush one, like the auto fiber stuff that's bigger and heavier, or the stuff from from the rag company. They're just like the Equal towels. They're just so much thicker and heftier, and I don't like that. I like it to be not as plush.
All right, some people are talking about they're excited to get their orders. Got shipping confirmation on tire dressing. Yep, tons of it went out today.
Yeah. I'm really proud of kind of how the team has responded. I talked about this on various outlets inside the Hex and stuff like that about we didn't expect to have this amount of output, but I haven't expected the amount of purchasing, or I guess it'd be input on any stage of this game that I've been playing, and so I've I don't want to overstaff and have people sitting there twiddling their thumbs, but I also don't want to understaff if I can help it. And so we had a little period there where we're doing the giveaway. We're in the heat of the season. We have a pandemic, which means that people are looking for stuff to do, and so we had this perfect storm of all the stuff come together. But now so we went from having 2 people packing. Actually, for a while it was like 1 person and then 1 part-time person, to then 2 full-time, and now we have 5, or we have we have 5. April leaves, and so we'll add we're going to add another picker. We're adding a customer service specific person because I want to get the emails immediately. I would like to have a chat platform as well on the site at some point soon, where you can chat live. I want to avoid the phone if I can help it. The phone is such a waste of time. It's too many formalities, too much. It's just going to cause more problems than it's worth, because then people are going to be mad when we don't answer it because it's ringing off the hook all day. And so I want to manage that, and have that work. But anyway, we've responded. We've added 2 people here this week. We have 3 more coming next week, or 2 next week and 1 the following week. And so you're going to continue to see some significant improvements in speed and output of information when you need it.
All right, let's see. Kyle in the chat here wants to know, any interest in trying P&S's new Iron Buster product?
I guess I'll probably get a bottle of it at some point, but that's a product that doesn't need improvement. I mean, the sodium thioglycolate is sodium thioglycolate. You just spray it on and it turns purple and you rinse it off. So, yeah, I mean, maybe, but I doubt that it's really much different than anything else. Maybe it smells better, but it probably smells the same. So there's not really much I think you can improve in that. But who knows? I've been proven wrong many times.
All right, question here in the chat from Anthony. I'm about to do a correction on my Focus ST with correction compound and perfect finish with yellow and white pads. Mm-hmm. I don't have an air compressor. What should I do to clean the pads between passes?
I mean, you could use the pad brush, so you can agitate it. You could also use a vacuum. It's going to kind of jack up your vacuum, but you can kind of suck it out with the vacuum. Or you're just going to have to change pads more often.
All right, this is from Damien in the chat. My Raptor doesn't fit in my garage. Is it possible to still polish and coat in the driveway? Was worried about the sun and dust.
Yeah, I mean, sun is going to make it difficult, but you can watch Darren Priest has lots of videos where he's out polishing in the bright sunlight. Dust shouldn't really be a problem. You just keep wiping the panel down. Just wipe it down before you polish on it. Think about your garage. A lot of times you're polishing with the door open anyway, so doing it outside I don't think is that big of a deal. I've done many cars out in my wash bay where it's it's covered, but it's it's out in the open. So you can certainly do it.
Let's see. Douglas here in the chat says he framed up the picture of the 1M, gave it as a gift, and they loved it. So thanks for that.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so we should have all that stuff. What's the ETA? Do you know? We should have all the stuff from the giveaway that's staying permanently, like this hat and the posters, the renderings and stuff like that will be up in the store permanently here in the next week or two. We're kind of waiting until we dig out of all of this stuff before we add more fuel to it, because I don't want people ordering if they're not going to get it for a week or two. So in a week or so, we should have all of the permanent giveaway items back in the store, that like the banners and the hat and the we'll have some leftover shirts that we'll be selling and things like that. So those will be up in the store shortly.
Yeah, part of it too is just we have errors or things, people get products that are not quite up to par, so we send them a replacement. So we want to make sure we have all of our numbers right.
Yeah, if it gets damaged in shipping or something. Yeah.
Let's see. We got a couple super chats here. One from Lewis, who will be starting with us here in the next week or so. Hey guys, see you soon. So $2. We'll give you that $2 back later, Lewis. Jim L., our Canadian friend here, $50 Canadian. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Matt, was wondering if you've made any progress with some of your vendors protecting OG's interest against other competitors benefiting from your work, etc.
Nope. Zero. Yeah, I mean, my longer-term plan will be just to ignore it, let them copy, and just go harder, and then continue to develop. And then as my sales, as the numbers get bigger, the goal would be to eventually, negotiate exclusivity on things. And I do think, I do think one of the major things is going to be, like, let's say for Krenzla, is to package it differently with the gun and wand and foam cannon and set it up with an OG logo and have it all come in one box, nice and clean and torqued and taped and put together. So that's how I'm going to have to do it, because they're not going to do it for me. They don't even know how to do it. So my expectation of that, I think, is probably not realistic. So I'm just going to have to, do it on my own by creating exclusive solutions and making a box for it. And so that's where we're headed, I think.
All right. Mark wants to know, when are you getting the Porsche back?
I think Billy just finished it, so I'll send the guy to pick it up maybe next week. It won't be long.
All right, Sam asked a question here. He wants to know, do you have an approximate time frame when you'll be giving away the EM1?
No, I'm not sure yet. It's going to be dictated on when we get the motor done. So I'm going to be shipping it June. What was it? June 30th, I think, or like the very end of June. I'm shipping it up to Sound and Motion in Boston. I'm going to ship it with a G7X camera in the in the glove compartment, so that they can shoot clips of the install. We're going to be doing Dyne Audio 3-way separates. I think probably the 8 and the tweeter in the kick panel, and then the 4-inch. We're doing an Isotar 4-inch in the door. And then we're going to be doing dual Illusion Audio subwoofers in the trunk and in the spare tire well area, as well as probably put the Mosconi 5-channel amplifier. I think it's a beast, and the Mosconi processor. And I'm going to be doing the Sony that Sony ES really high-end head unit, single DIN receiver-like head unit for high-end audio. And then we'll be eliminating the radio. There won't be a radio. It'll all be digital files that we'll be playing through Spotify and Tidal and FLAC files that we upload to the receiver. And so I'll be shipping that out. We'll probably do the engine after that, and then so we're probably looking at late this year. Probably fall to winter.
All right. There are a few questions that popped up in Instagram and then here in the chat about the Gt4. Mm-hmm. What's the update on the Gt4 Arrival? Would the RS be sold if you end up liking the Gt4 more?
No, I can't foresee that happening. The video will be up probably Saturday morning, I believe. We have the GT3 wheel video going up, I think today, and then tomorrow would be the GT4 video, just talking about the build. And so, I mean, it should lock here any week now. Sometime this month, the order will lock. And then it'll get built over the next month or so, and then a month after that, it takes to get here. So, and then I have to fly to North Carolina to get it, and then fly back, and we'll ship the car back. So, yeah, I'm probably, I don't know, we're probably looking at late July would be my guess, early August.
This comment from Deagle here in the chat. Love the video quality on the Porsche series. Looks so crisp. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, we're working on that. Michael's doing a good job of, tweaking and making, changes to things and trying to get better angles and do voiceover transitions, which is something I've always wanted to do, and but maintain the style of long format and all the detail. So that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah, more comment here from Danny Israel on Facebook. The new B-roll is looking great in the video. So pretty.
Yeah, and I would like to continue to figure out how to make it better lit, and we're going to keep chasing that.
All right, this is from Blake on Facebook. Matt, I'm thinking about selling my F10 M5 for my first Porsche. Mm-hmm. Do you have any experience or opinions on a 997.1 turbo manual versus a 991.1 turbo PDK?
I mean, the .1 or the 991 is just such a better, like, everyday car. But the 997 is a little smaller, feels a little more nimble, a little bit lighter weight, just a tiny bit. So it just depends on what you want. If you want, comfort and modern, more modern feel, the 991 is a better car. But the 997 is still great. It's just that it's the 997, especially a .1 997, starts to feel a little dated. Looking at the taillights and the headlights, the interior, the navigation and radio and all that stuff. So to me, a turbo is about creature comforts. It's a great hybrid, race car / drive to the office every day. And coming from an M5, I think I would want. Sorry. Shoot. I would want a 991, even though it's a little bigger.
All right, TC on Facebook wants to know, for a standard 2-car garage, will 4 of the 4-bulb OG overhead lights be enough, or will I need to get 6?
Yeah, I think you're going to want 6. Otherwise, you're going to end up with some shadows. I mean, 4 bulbs will work, but I think the best way to do it would be to do 2 over where the garage door goes. So the garage door comes up, have the 2 that are above it, and then have the other 4 symmetrically placed. It's all about symmetry. You want to get them spread out as symmetrically as possible, so you end up with a little less shadowing. That's the goal. So I would want 6 if you can swing it.
All right, Manual Obsession asks, how are the locking power cords doing in the Cox reels? Have you used them yet?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I haven't noticed any negative effects. It may, I think it's a little bit heavier, so it retracts slightly differently, maybe a tiny bit slower, but I don't think we need to make any modifications to the there's Sound and Motion right there. I don't think we need to make any modifications to the spring or anything. So I think it's good. I think it would be good to start, offering them. What you can do is, you don't want to wait. Just buy the Prolock cord and just cut it and put it in yourself. Yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't wait for it.
All right, let's see. This is from Kent on Facebook. Will the air system be upgraded with the Prevost Cyclone water separator? I think it is needed for systems without air dry units. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't chased that yet. For most applications, what we're doing, I just don't think it's necessary to have a water separator. And it's not even necessary to really have a dryer. It's more of a luxury than anything. Again, I think if you're spending $3,000 to $6,000 on a compressor, to spend another $1,200 or $2,000 on a dryer, most people are going to do it. But it's one of those things that 90% of the time I don't even turn it on. So I don't know that that's necessary.
All right, Jason wants to know, what do you foresee for Adams? Any changes now that they've been acquired by RecoChem?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to retain. So here's what has happened with any of my friends or any people and acquaintances, people I've known over the years or have advised as a financial advisor, is that what almost always happens, and maybe Adam's would be different, but let's use me as an example. So let's say I built some sort of technology company, and then a big private equity firm comes in, or some other big corporation comes in and buys it. And then now I have $50 million or $20 million or $80 million or whatever it is, more money than I've ever had in my life. And then they come in and start changing my company that I founded and created, and changing some of the culture and adding some efficiencies and hacking off some of my people. And all my people got a check, so all the key people got a check. Like Chris would have gotten $1 million or $2 million or something like that, and Bryce would have gotten $2 million. And so now everybody's kind of fat and and rich. And then this corporation comes in and starts jacking around with the original organization, trying to incorporate it. And it very rarely works super smoothly, even though they all intend for it to happen. And then at one point, you just say, screw it. I got $80 million. Chris says, $2 million, that's all I really wanted anyway, so I'm out. I'm done. And Bryce sticks around because he's greedy and wants to have $4 million. And then, then we all quit and go do something else, and then the company changes, and and either sometimes it gets better, but most of the time it gets worse, or sometimes the synergies kind of go well. I'm sure they've thought this through. They have their CEO Derek is brilliant and has done a lot with Coors Corporation. I think he was a C-suite exec for the Coors family. And so he was a major investor and became the CEO of Adam, so Adam could be the face of the company. And then they've grown revenues, I'm sure, drastically, and have become sort of a household name in detailing. And so then the company was probably of significant value, and so they sold, and we'll see if Adam sticks around or if the company changes or what happens. But it's certainly everybody's life changed. Look at McGuire's, was the same thing happened when Barry McGuire, they was acquired by 3M, and McGuire seems to have done it pretty well. But you notice a lot of guys sort of exited McGuire's over the years. So we'll see. I mean, but it's one of those things that, man, it's so happy for those guys that they built a corporation that was worth something that somebody could would want. Gives us all hope, and you make that choice. And so let's say someday Obsessed Garage is not so dependent on me. Shoot, my name's not on it. Adam's name was on it, right? It's called Adam's Polishes, for gosh sakes. And they don't really even do very well in polishes. They do well in other stuff. Their polishes aren't particularly very good. And so what do you do? What would I do if somebody came in and said, "Man, I'm going to give you, $45 million for this, and I want you to, be the face of it and hang around." And what do you do? Do you take that? It's a sort of hard thing not to take, But
start that T-shirt company we talked about.
Yeah. So I've seen it with. It seems pretty clear, and I don't know Steve Dinan, but Dinan, same thing. Built Dinan, and its name is on it, and then sold it, and it's been sold again. So it's owned by a private equity firm. That same firm bought APR, and so now they're in the same facility. So they cover basically all German cars with Audi and Dinan, and it sort of seems like Steve has started Carbon. And he went and worked for Chip Ganassi Racing for a little while, and then started Carbon, which looks like he's kind of rebuilding a new Dinan, if you will, working on engines. And so he's seems like he's doing Dinan without all the bullcrap that he didn't like from Dinan. It sure appears from the 30,000-foot view and the stuff I've heard him talk about. So it's one of those things, like you pour your heart and soul in, and if you're fortunate to build a passion-like business like Adam has, or Steve Dinan, or something like that, and you sell it, what do you do? Like Barry McGuire still shows up to work every day, from what I understand, or most days. But he's got $100 million in the bank, and or something like that. And what do you do? Do you still have the desire to show up for work? I don't know. It's interesting. I think that's the American dream. Adam mixing up polishes in his apartment. He lived in his detailing facility, and then builds this company in a decade or so, and then has a big company that sees extreme value in it and comes and buys it. And then, if the best case scenario is he gets to hang around, chase passion, stay with it, and he has a bunch of money in the bank and never has to worry about it again. When that happens, you have money, never have to worry about money again. Sometimes it backfires on you, but most of the time I think it would just free you up to do everything without an agenda. So who knows? It's cool. It's cool for them.
All right, got a super chat here from Ricky in Puerto Rico. It says, thanks for all the great advice and service from OG. Got my ship notification for the OG tire dressing and courtesy rev shirt yesterday. Trying out the OG tire dressing on the 1M as soon as the box shows up.
Yeah, thanks for being patient, man. I appreciate it. We got much further behind than I like or had anticipated. And the risk is I was running people into the ground. So we've responded, and the risk now is that I'm gonna help you guys keep buying stuff because I don't want to be so far ahead that we don't have anything to do. I find that hard to believe. I'll find something for everybody to do.
Let's see. Are you in the works for any other limited edition OG lineup of products in the near future? Probably referring to the CSL EXO kind of thing.
I'm sure we'll come up with some stuff. It's such a unique time for us because we're in the throes of growth, sales growth, but also product creation. So it's not like there's literally 100 products that we need to come out with tomorrow. At some point, we may get to where we have a sort of the garage outfit, and it becomes more obscure, more little meticulous little details, and then that's when I think special editions, and because when the business growth curve starts to tail off, some disappear or some turn upward, and so when that pivot point comes for us, whenever that is. Hopefully we can continue to be creative and respond. So when we have a bit more mature organization where we have a mature line of products, then I just don't think we'll ever fully mature because there'll always be tweaking. And that's where very specific Obsessed Garage stuff will take precedent. So for the guy who asked me before about what are you doing to protect all this stuff you're teaching people about, and the copiers and all those, and the fact that the vendors aren't protecting you, I think it's wasted time and energy. Despite the time I get hacked off about it, it's wasted time and energy. I'd better off just capturing what we capture and let the others steal and capture the tiny little bit that they capture, but stay focused on the progression, so that way I can get to the point to where then we can go back and protect. So rather than just sitting there, patents and copyrights and IP and protect. So that's what I see a lot of companies doing. They just won't tell anybody what they're doing. Everything's so secretive. Everything's so close to the chest that I think that slows down. So I'd rather just be blurted out, be out in the open, share with what I'm thinking, and then we'll figure it out later.
I got a question here from Tom C. in the chat. Hi, Matt. I installed Swiss tracks in my garage. Right now I'm finding it quite noisy to walk on due to tiles not sitting flat. Have you ever come across this before? If so, can you offer advice to rectify?
I wonder if and maybe his floor has some imperfections to it, like cracks and little chunks taken out of it. And that's the only situation I could imagine that it was doing that, or if it was just too tight against the wall, where there wasn't any air gap or any gap. I don't know. I just don't really have that problem unless you have a bunch of imperfections in the floor. And if that's the case, I don't know there's much you could do about it, other than maybe fill some of the spots with leveler and grind the floor. I'm not sure. It's interesting.
All right. Bryce in the chat here says he needs that $4 million for his army of Miatas and a 3D printer. So we'll work on that for you, Bryce. Okay, this is from Eric on Facebook. Sonax makes Perfect Finish and EX0406.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Finish was developed for rotary use, and 0406 was an updated version of PF for DA use.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people still like PF over 0406 when they use a DA?
It just works better, Of course, it was designed for the rotary, but sometimes some combinations just work, And so I've used both, and the perfect finish, whatever oil or filler and combination they put together, it's just such a great polish. Adds some depth, and it's just a good polish, man. I like it.
All right, let's see. Spencer, our friend in the Dakotas, wants to know, what are some big do's and don'ts with an aftermarket car stereo? Currently have a DSLR into a 400 by 4 amp running two-way from 6.5 and 6x9 speakers and a 13.7 W7 sub on a 1500 watt.
I'm a big fan of front stage only, no rear fill in a car, because you don't have rear fill in a 2-channel stereo setup. So I'm a bigger proponent of front stage only, and I'm not a huge fan of active systems, meaning that you don't have any external crossovers. If you're going to buy a pair of separates, then the chance of you crossing over more accurately than they could in their studied and tested speaker set in your car, the chances of you RTAing or tuning it better than what Dyne Audio could do with their crossover is pretty slim, unless you just have one of the best tuners on the planet. I like to stick to get as much pre-out as you can get into your amplifier, although not quite as necessary as it used to be, because amplifiers are pretty efficient now at taking whatever signal they get and amplifying it. But a clean head, clean source, front stage, a great amplifier, a processor, a good tuner, and then some subwoofers that hopefully you've done some sound deadening, some treatment. So the Civic is going to look just like that. Very simple, minimal stuff, minimal wires, minimal need for capacitors and other things. And so I want it to look factory installed and clean, but sound great.
All right, Pancake Sauce. That's a great name. When are the water hoses going to be back in stock? Garden hoses are on their way. Our supplier in California was only working, I think, 2 days a week for a while there, so he was struggling to keep up.
Yep.
And I already bought 2 of the 50-footers, so you got to wait in line behind me, Pancake Sauce. Let's see. This is from Joachim on Instagram. When will we ever get a giveaway for us from Europe? Doesn't have to be a car, just some of the OG products maybe that you have in the store. I've been waiting from the start of Inside the Hex for a giveaway where us from Europe can join, so I could sign up, maybe do a small giveaway just for us outside the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, we decided to bag it because of the legal, I don't know how, I'd have to hire a UK attorney that knew the U.S. tax. I mean, it's just too complicated, and I'm just going to lose a bunch of money on it. So, sorry, man.
Yeah, we did go down that road and try to figure it out, but
yeah,
it's a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple people on Instagram. Tanner86, can we get some more videos of Matt washing team members' vehicles while interviewing them? It's interesting to hear everyone's story. And then show TRM. This is how you write a legitimate question here. Just watch Hexcast. Wash and talk with your employees. Any others coming? By the way, Chris was the best. Give that guy a raise. Well said.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting it on the calendar, especially now as we have more and more people come on board. But I think that was back in January when we were doing that, and then we just got
Well, I got disgruntled because we did Kyle's, and then the freaking camera didn't work, and then I'm like, oh, gosh, I got to do it again. And then I kind of gave up on it. But we should keep going. I think it's interesting.
I'll work on getting those scheduled, even though you don't like scheduling things, though.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate things on my calendar.
Matt, this is from Leo, our favorite Swede. Matt, do you know of any OG solutions for storing my winter tires?
Not really. I mean, I think like the tire rack kind of has that licked, but it's not a great solution. But they have the like things that go over your tires, like the little sleeves that they go in, which creates a handle, and then they have like probably the best wall mounted tire rack solution. So that's probably what I would do. Is again, you put them in those little sleeves where it has a handle. You can carry it around, keeps the dirt from getting all over the place. But I'd clean them first, get them nice and clean, and then put them in those little sleeves, and then throw them up on a rack is probably what I would do.
All right, this is from DeWeberis, Joe Rogan just sold his podcast to Spotify for $100 million. For how much would you be willing to sell your podcast?
Yeah, $102 million.
So if you're looking for a podcast to buy, we have one.
I think he sold it for a little more than that.
Let's see. Mo the Barber on Instagram wants to know, what's the difference between neutral and pH balanced soaps?
Generally, that would mean the same thing. Just one is a scientific term and the other is not. So usually when a company's talking about it's neutral, that means that it's pH somewhere around 7 or slightly above 7, which would mean it really doesn't do anything for dirt removal other than just adding lubrication. So that's the thing to keep in mind. If the pH of your soap is 7 and it's balanced and neutral, then hopefully it'll neutralize any mineral content in the water, and then hopefully add some lubrication, but know that it's not going to really do much dirt removal.
All right, let's see. Steve in Florida wants to know, hey Matt, do you have any thoughts on the upcoming 718 GT4 RS? The specs given on Renlist look awesome if Porsche comes through. Enjoy the podcast videos and all you guys do.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think they'll always hold it back versus the GT3, so I'd probably favor the GT3. And I don't think they're going to have an RS and a manual, so I'm not as interested in that car as I am a regular GT4 because of the manual, the difference. I'd love to have a manual Porsche car in my life that's a little bit different from the 911, and we'll see if they're different enough for me to enjoy having the two different cars.
All right, Mike wants to know, hey Matt, I'm looking into doing the same wash process as you for my wheels. Can you give me exact ounces of brake buster and water you put in your foam cannon?
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to be perfect with it. Just split it up. Put half water and half brake buster. You can do it straight up if you want. But I don't know. I just picked half and half. It seems to work pretty well. So just fill the bottle up half, maybe a little bit more than halfway, and then dump some water in there, and you'll be good to go. And you can sit it in there for weeks and weeks, and then just refill it when you need to. So it doesn't have to be exact.
All right, James wants to know, how's the new Flex vacuum? Are you going to be looking into the wall-mounted vacuums with Cox hose reels as well?
Yeah, the thing I'm realizing, there's a whole lot of vacuums out there. I'm probably going to have to just buy a bunch of them, not all of them, but just maybe a dozen of them and figure out which one I like and go with it. The Flex is kind of cool. There's some interesting things about it. My guess is there's some better vacuums out there, but it's an interesting vac. Certainly does a good job. It's my guess is the best vacuums are going to be dust extractors for polish or sanding, and so that'll probably be the type of vacuum we'll end up with.
All right. Jeff's Detailing wants to know, what's the main difference or differences between MTM SGS 28 and the new SGS 35, and will you carry the 35?
No, the 35 is a different trigger mechanism, which is like a snap-on. I never liked that version. I think what's the new Hydro called? The blue one. The blue one has T316 stainless. I don't think that's called the 35. I forget what the blue one is called, but the blue one should be out soon. But that one has a T316 stainless, which really isn't necessary unless you have salt. But otherwise, the 28 is my preferred. It's a little lighter. It's a little smaller. It's not as and the trigger is a little bit less annoying when you pull it. So.
All right, Matt Man 1098 wants to know, hey Matt, I'm looking to start my sonic tool collection. Mm-hmm. Don't have a house yet, but I do want to buy a base set of tools that I could build on as time goes on. What would you recommend? It's
funny you mentioned that. Harrison just emailed me yesterday. They're building out some tool solutions for those that are kind of starting out and want to build their sonic tool line. And so we're going to build out a tool grid installed solution and just like basic sonic tools from ground up. So we're going to start working on that here soon.
All right, let's see. Reasonable Paul on Instagram says, thank you for finally releasing the FIAC video. 2 questions for you. Number 1, you made a statement that it was the Ferrari of air compressors. Does that mean they're also as reliable and expensive to maintain as a Ferrari? Question 1.
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. But my guess is, it's Italian made. We'll see. They have a pretty hefty 2-year warranty that covers pretty much everything. From the looks of it, it looks like they're pretty serviceable for all of us. But the reason why I said that is because it is Italian. So we'll find out. I'll find out for you.
All right, question 2. I like the idea of a smaller tank size simply because it looks smaller, and my wife will probably not even notice it. Since those can run 100% duty cycle, what would be a benefit of the bigger tank in a homeowner/prosumer setting?
Well, the 80-gallon tank is going to run 25% less than the 20-gallon is. But, it's so quiet that, it's not a big deal for it to be running and while you're using it. So, it's that more tank capacity means that it has to run less, means less wear and tear. But again, we're taking commercial grade product and applying it to the personal garage for the once a month you're going to use the darn thing. I think that's why the 20-gallon is so appealing to me. Because you can tuck it in a corner, you can roll it around, you can move it, you could stationary mount it if you wanted to. It has the same exact output as a big 80-gallon tank. And it's just a nice little solution. It'd be cool if they had like a 40-gallon vertical. I just don't know that could hold up the top of it.
All right, let's see. Does the length of a pressure washer hose affect the pressure at the gun?
It does once you get over about 100 feet, 150 feet. You'll start to drop, 100 psi or so per 50 to 100 feet. But anything under 100, I've noticed no drop in pressure with most pressure washers.
We used a 50-footer when we did all the pressure washer testing.
Yeah, but remember we did a 50 and 100 and saw no difference.
Let's see. Spencer wants to know, do you notice a difference between Optimum Ferrex and Ironex?
No. They're freaking identical.
Basically the same.
Yeah, Ironex would be CarPro's version, but yeah, not a lick of difference.
All right, back to the FIAC for just a second. Did you get a chance to talk to somebody at FIAC to see what their take is on running those non-stop, as you probably would have to do that when using the LHR 75?
Yeah, again, since it's 100% duty cycle, that's what they're made for. So remember, these are commercial grade, products designed to run all the time. These aren't like consumer garage devices here. They sell these for commercial applications. Really, I'm the first person to even consider it for a residential garage. So to run a sander or a polisher and run it for hours at a time should be no sweat.
All right, Russell says, I'd like to get a Sonic tool cart. Would it be possible to get it with 4 swiveling casters to make it more mobile?
I don't know. They don't. Just email support. We probably could. It would. It is growing on me. It's a lot easier to steer and push around by having 2 fixed. But yeah, when you're in a tighter area, having 4 swiveling would probably be better. I bet you we can get that done.
All right, we addressed this earlier, but I want to hit on this because a few people have asked. Any status on the Karcher K1700 Advanced package? Yes, we're just waiting on more K1700s. We got 2 pallets yesterday, but one of them was pretty messed up. So we're waiting on more of those. Hey, Matt, thanks for the review on the Sunjo SPX 6001C. Not the highest output pressure washer, but I live in an apartment, so this is my best option. Waiting to upgrade gun or hose on a budget.
Yeah, it's a neat little solution. You know what else is probably going to be pretty cool is if Ego does come out with a pressure washer. I don't know. You'd probably still have to get water to it. So that'll be the question. Will it be a portable solution with a bucket like that? If it is, and it has Ego's batteries, that's pretty cool. So we'll see.
Let's see. Do you have an ETA on the Cox hose reel stainless wound wall plate? Yes. Andrew's making more as we speak. We're going to have... He's getting them here as he can make them, so in the next week or 2. Hello from Indonesia. Hey there. How you doing? Question for Chris. How has the workload been for you during the increased activity the last few months? Will you be hiring a person to take some workload off you? Good question. Yeah, one of the guys who's coming next week, part of what he's going to do is what I've kind of had to step in and do, just in terms of labeling and helping with the distribution side of things, because it was just way too busy.
Yeah, so the intent is to take that because we need to get into inventory. We need to get our inventory dialed in. And then we have a major, sort of website overhaul project that Kyle, Chris, and Bryce are going to have to kind of continue to work through, updating our descriptions, updating our photos, making sure our videos are updated. And so these, hopefully new personnel will allow us to get in and improve efficiencies there. So that way we end up with less questions and less, inventory problems, which means less questions, which means, the automated part and the front end of it is so important that we focus on, so that way the back end questions aren't unattainably large, or the flow of them isn't too large. So, but these are the growing pains, and my guess is we're doing it infinitely better than pretty much any other company that does something like what we do.
Let's see. Refresh Garage wants to know, hey, Matt, when's the mountain bike giveaway? Haha, JK. Hope you get back into it. Just starting riding again this week after a few months off.
Yeah, I rode twice this weekend. Rode the weekend before. So I rode, Sunday and Monday. Did some riding out at Santos. And then, we'll probably be out there once every couple weeks. Something like that. The bike's freaking awesome, though. I did back-to-back. I got it because my buddy Chad went out with me on Monday, and he had my giant Anthem, and just the difference in riding around in the Anthem versus the Yeti. Wow, what a difference!
All right, a couple of people have noticed here that the wish list was now been added to the site. Wanted to say thank you. So there you go, Bryce.
Oh, it has?
I guess so. People have been hounding us about that for a while. That's good.
Interesting.
Matt, what's the chance that the GT3 brake calipers get painted green to match the seatbelt and seats?
No, now that I've gotten rid of the green stripe, I don't want to tear apart the calipers or have it painted and then have it be janky. The paint is so good on the Porsche OE calipers that I just don't want to mess it up. So I chickened out on that. I actually had it scheduled and then I just canceled it. So I'm going to leave them yellow. It's it's outside of the car, so green inside, yellow outside is fine. This cleanse is killing me, man. It's just killing me. I'm not really tired. I'm just deficient.
Brian Chu sent us a super chat here. $10. Hello from Brooklyn. Thank you for the live chat. Well, thanks Brian.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, did you want to talk about your cleanse again?
Yeah, I'm just back. It's been about 6 months since I did it last time. I'm back on. Today's day 9. I'm supplementing with, I'm really dialing in my vitamin supplementation and creatine as well. And so I haven't lost as much weight as quickly as I normally do. Creatine works really well for me. Makes me retain, quite a bit of water weight and muscle weight, if you will. And so I'm doing a 21-day cleanse while still working out, which is really hard to do. So I go in and I'm on near death's doorstep when I'm out there. So I'm cycling, and then I'm going to the new CrossFit gym. So I'm making some 2 weeks in, or 9 days in, and so I'll go to the gym again today. But 3 to 4 days a week, which just complete depletion, exhaustion. I need to stop doing this extreme bull crap, but this is just how I do it and how I do better. So trying to be better. So I'm taking just a multivitamin, doing the standard process stuff that I've talked about before, which is a 21-day vegetable base cleanse / fast, and where you have a salad for dinner, but 3 shakes during the day with a protein-based or a vegetable-based protein. And you feel great other than being super tired and hungry, but but from a sleep great, especially working out, I'm feeling really feeling a lot of progress is happening. So, but we're so busy and I'm chasing so much stuff that I'm just kind of powering through it.
Yeah, and I can speak to yesterday we had Chick-fil-A for lunch. Matt about everybody Chick-fil-A and didn't eat any of it, so that was good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, so and I'm going to be probably a meat heavy. I'm going to go on a meat heavy diet afterward.
Meat cleanse. Cleanse out all the vegetables.
Yeah.
Vimal wants to know any recommendations on mountain bikes, 27.5 or 29-inch wheel size, looking at Santa Cruz, Cannondale, Trek. Thanks in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I dug into this pretty hardcore. I was between Santa Cruz and Yeti. Specialized is also interesting, but the mountain biking is not their forte. Road cycling is. So Giant. I like the Giant stuff. I like the Yeti stuff. The Santa Cruz stuff was pretty sweet. I think you have to sort of look into what biking you're doing, because I headed down. I want the best bike, and so that means I need the most travel. And so I was looking at like Mega Tower, or, Santa Cruz with a 160 millimeter travel, and I ended up coming to common sense. I'm going to be trail riding, and I probably need a hardtail. And so I ended up, buying a Yeti SB100, and then just you buy whatever components you can afford. So the components make the user experience much better. But there's extreme diminishing returns per dollar as you start to get up in there in the upper echelon of bikes. I mean, my SB100 was I forget what it's called, like Turo 3 or something like that, where I have SRAM XXX or SRAM, XX1 Gold. So I have all the most expensive brakes and crank and derailleur, and I have SRAM AXS, which is the electronic shifting. And so, it's a $11,000 bike, which you're going to be hard pressed to, especially a rider like me. My goal was to be the biggest poser on the nicest bike. So, and so I think you want carbon if you can help it, though.
All right, Epiphany Detailing wants to know, how are you coming on reaching 30K views on Facebook? Always look there first now.
I think we're like 70% of the way there, which sucks. And we need to, I hope we can just get it. Because once you get it, I think you got it. So we're close. We're getting closer. I need to do something big there to drive some people back there to get us there so we get monetized. And again, I don't care so much about monetization as I do about Facebook connecting me with new people. And I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that if we're monetized there, that they'll probably push us more, because we'll get in the algorithms. So yeah, please go keep watching on Facebook. I know the quality isn't as good, but for whatever reason, Facebook's encoder isn't as good as YouTube's, but I'd like to get it done.
All right, let's see. Eric Garcia wants to know, do I need to make an appointment to stop by the shop? I would like to purchase some items in person.
Not really. Just come on by.
And then I think he asked earlier if anyone was going to be here tomorrow. It's kind of iffy. Depends.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes. But I don't want any freaking appointments for me. So if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. I don't know. My parents are usually here.
Yeah, there we go. Bryce is answering in the chat, so we'll let him handle that. Is there a way I can buy from you from the UK? Shipping costs are insane. Oh, Chris.
Yeah, people just keep getting so bent out of shape. I mean, I literally, all the stuff I bought for the Civic from Japan, I had to pay $2,000 in shipping. It was like $6,800 worth of stuff and $2,000 in shipping, and I wanted it, and it's not here, and so that's just what it costs. I mean, what do you want me to do? Buy a bunch of stuff so it kind of helps assume some of the cost, and if you want it, then we're not marking it up. We're just charging you what it costs to ship it there. So again, what I'm not interested in doing is selling a $20 bottle. And then the shipping was like $40 to get it to you, and so we charged you $20 in shipping, and it costs $45, and I lose $5 to send it to you. I got to pay somebody to put it in a bottle. I got to pay for a box. I got to pay for the person to ship it. I got to pay for all the stuff, the processing fees, the website, the photos that had to be taken, all this stuff. So unfortunately, there's no easy way to do this. And what a lot of companies do is they just mark it up a bunch of money. I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. I forget who it was. Said, yeah, rather than just hearing everybody complain about it, I made it free shipping. Shipping was like $7 or $8, and so it was a $30 item. I made it $42. So I charged them $12 more for the item and made it free shipping. So they paid $4 more than they would have if they just paid the $30 plus the $8 shipping. That's what happens. So, yeah, but you can ship it there, and it gets there really efficiently, really cleanly, really nicely. It's just expensive.
And what we have a group, actually, I think they're in Sweden, and they do like a group buy. So they get their buddies together. They all chip in, do a fairly big order. Then that can save you some money as well doing it that way. So
yeah.
might want to do that. Let's see. Hey, Matt, I'm moving to Myrtle Beach from New York City. Good move, Jay.
Congrats, yeah.
Bringing my beloved, always garaged E90 M3 and won't have any garage in South Carolina. Any tips in the South, weather and sun in terms of exterior, interior car care?
There really won't be much difference other than, you're going to have the harsh salt and stuff like that to deal with. If I were you, I'd pick the winter months to do your coating and do your waxing and stuff like that, your deconning and polishing. So pick the spring, winter, fall time to do that rather than dead of the summer. So I always like to try to have my cars dialed in before the summer, and that way I'm not sweating my nuts off. Now it doesn't matter because we got the air conditioned, climate controlled facility. But yeah, that's what I would suggest.
All right, I'm out of questions here in the chatters. We need some more questions if anybody has some. Let's see.
That's about all I got.
All right,
I'm ready to go.
Let's
drink another crappy shake.
We can think. Okay, how about this? We schedule one wash and chat with you and an employee, like one a week.
Maybe.
On a Friday morning.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm trying.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time.
Yep.
Friday, 2:00.
Yep.
Eastern.
Water spots are off the M3, so that's good. But I burned a hole in the car. I'll talk about that later. I'm sad. Just get a new bumper. No biggie. Yeah. That's all I got. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right,
Short one today. See ya.